Welcome back to the Football Terrace. Hit like buttons, subscribe, and share this content. Lots to talk about today. Lots of updates this morning. Some big transfer news as well. But I wanted to start with a deal that is almost complete and over the line. Conor Gallagher has verbally agreed to terms and said yes to joining Atlético Madrid. Here we go to follow today after formal steps on a 5-year deal. La Liga's record fee this summer, 40 million euros to Chelsea. I mean, it's quite low when you consider the size of the transfers that have gone through before. And Matt Law has claimed that Conor Gallagher will earn around 12 million. I repeat, 12 million euros per year. That's around 10 million pounds per year in English money, and he is going to go through. And look, I think this is good news for Chelsea fans. I feel that this was a sale they wanted as a club to go through. Does this now mean the Victor Osimhen's, potentially an approach for a Nico Williams, an attacker, a goal scorer, somebody to give them some more va-va-voom, some more impact, something a little bit more deadly up front? Is that now on the cards for Chelsea? They're probably not going to buy a midfielder. It makes no sense. I've seen some links to some guy at Celtic. I haven't even really paid that any attention. Maybe I should. That is possibly a little bit disrespectful. But I think they've got to invest in their front line. I think they've got to invest in their attack more than the midfield. I mean, maybe even more in their defence than in their central midfield areas. They've got Kieran Dewsbury-Hall. They have Lavia that looks good on pre-season. Caicedo. They've got Enzo. They've got a lot of midfielders. Buying another one would make almost no sense to me whatsoever. But this is, in my humble opinion, the right thing to do. I know that Chelsea fans are sort of, he's proper Chelsea. He's not better than what you got. He isn't better than the players on your bench. He isn't not on your bench, in other main midfielders in your squad. He may have a place on your bench, but I don't think he wanted to be a bit part player. He wants to play regular first team football. You've got a good amount of money in, 40 million euros, for what is essentially a decent squad player. Reinvest that money into a top-level striker that's going to score you goals, that's going to move you up the table, that is going to make you a better football team. I think Chelsea fans collectively should be getting behind this deal. Wish Conor Gallagher all the best for the future over playing for Diego Simeone. Wipe their mouths and move on. Next stop, will it be Tony? Will it be Nico Williams? Will it be Osimhen? Give us your thoughts and feelings in the comment section below. Now, moving on to Arsenal, big report from Graham Bailey today says that Arsenal are prepared for Eddie Nketiah to stay at the club if their valuation is not met by interested parties, with Mikel Arteta more than happy to keep the player, insisting he was never pushing him out of the club. No, I've seen this boil some piss online. I'm not even going to lie. I've seen people fuming, raging. How dare we take the 27 million run? Come on, guys. Why are you angry? You know this is public posturing. So, ironically, when he gets sold in a week's time, if that happens, you'll get those same negative Nellies that will turn around and go, you see, when Arteta said he wasn't pushing him out the club, he's a born liar. They'll always look for the negative. You can call it lying. They're being salespeople here. They know they want to get rid of Eddie Nketiah, but for the right price. And then they want to then invest that money. And it has never been more important in the modern day game to get the right price for your players. With PSR issues, with FFP issues, with fines and point deductions coming in, balancing your books, getting the correct prices for your players that meet your valuations, or forget your valuation, meet what you need from a financial standpoint, has never been more important. Any football fan that has the logic of just spend whatever, it's not our money, I don't care. That will, if your club took your cue, you would lead your club into financial ruin within 3 to 4 years. So they're doing the right thing, Arsenal. It is a risky game because you might end up with egg on your face. But so what? Ironically, forget the PR nonsense. They're doing the right thing, in my opinion. Also, an update here on Mikel Merino. It says he's very keen to move to Arsenal and is expected to join soon. The Gunners are understood to have switched their attentions to Spain's European champion winning midfielder, complementing their first signing, after completing, their first signing of Calafiori. Spanish publication states that Merino would be delighted to join Arsenal, and the reports are that's going to be done soon. Look, I don't think there's any major delay to this. There may be some technical and some legal issues they're going through, but I just think Arsenal are waiting for the right time to announce him. He's been on holiday. I think his holiday ends today or tomorrow, according to reports. Why announce it a week ago and then lose the social buzz that you get? Whether people like this element or not, the fanfare that comes with the sign-in, the excitement, the kit going on sale, the money that is generated, so again, it's an important component for football clubs. If you Arsenal fans that want this done quickly, you're the same fans that want to catch Real Madrid. Well, that means you've got to catch up the £300 million a year, the £400 million a year more they earn than you. You're going to do that by commercially running your club well. That's going to be the only way you do it. Even if you're successful, if commercially you're run like shit, you're never going to catch them. You've got to get both things right. So please stop saying you want to be operating like a big club and then moan when they do things that big clubs do. You weirdos. Moreno's going to get over the line. I wouldn't worry about it in any capacity whatsoever. It feels as close to being complete as it could be. Unless something major happens, like he fails a medical or a better player that was already higher on the target list becomes available, it feels like it's going to get done. Now, a report coming out today from El Nacional is that Frenkie de Jong could potentially be on his way to Manchester United. The report here out of Barcelona says that they're desperate to sell him and have offered him to multiple clubs, including Manchester United. The asking price for him would be around 35 to 40 million. The problem are his wages, as he is believed to be on 600k per week. Now, we know that Frenkie de Jong's salary is high, and that's because for 2 to 3 years, because of COVID, he deferred his salary, wasn't paid. So then essentially, when they started paying him again, it was 2 years, 3 years without being paid, added on to what he was meant to earn, why it increased his salary. So actually, I find his salary is too high to be a little bit slightly misleading. So he never signed a deal where he was earning £600,000 a week. It was more like 350, but he deferred it, and now he's getting it all back. So this goes back to the same problem as 2 years ago. I think he was open to the idea of leaving Barcelona then. They accepted a much higher bid of 60 to 70 million pounds from Man United. But Barcelona weren't willing to pay him his owed wages, and Man United were not willing to pay him that amount either. And rightfully so, because it was a ridiculous amount of money. Now the situation may have changed. And I know a lot of people go, I can't believe the De Jong story is there again. I haven't changed my mind about Frenkie de Jong. I would love to have him as part of this Man United team. If you could add Frenkie de Jong and Ugarte as our two midfield signings this summer, you add them into Bruno Fernandes and Kobbie Mainoo, and you suddenly have a highly competent, highly technical, very productive, and extremely difficult to break down, with a decent level of athleticism, capped into a midfield. It becomes the baseline, because it's always on paper until they play together, for a very, very, very strong, dangerous, and potent midfield. So I would support this. We know that Barcelona have financial difficulties, and anybody claiming they don't is a barefaced liar. That's all you are. I'm not saying they're broke and can't spend. I'm not saying they're about to go into administration, but they most certainly have financial difficulties and have for the last couple of years. So am I surprised to see this story? No. Do I think he's available? Yeah, I do. It's whether or not Man United want to act on this. It's whether or not we want to go back in for a player that we failed to sign a couple of years ago. Doesn't happen very often in football. If you look at a club when they have a saga trying to sign a player, if they don't come out on top, rarely do you see it 2 or 3 years later they go back in for that player. Doesn't happen too often. So I'm not too sure whether Man United would do it. But would I support it as a Man United fan? Yes. Would I be happy with the signing of Frenkie de Jong? Of course I would. I still think he's an excellent football player. I really do. And he's also, I think he'd be such a great age for us right now. 27 years of age. When's he turning 28? Doesn't turn 28 till the end of next season. In the peak of his career, experienced. And, you know, he had a few injury issues last year. I think he only played 30 games in total. So that needs to be looked at as well. But, you know, suddenly him and the Lick, you know, a bit of that brilliant Ajax team from sort of 2017 through to 2019 back together with Ten Hag. It's something I could get behind. It's something I'd be supportive of. The football on the ball and midfield quality would certainly improve. But look, Man United fans, give us your thoughts, give us your feelings. The same as Gooners when it comes to your Eddie Nketiah situation. I want to hear from you. And Chelsea fans, how chuffed are you at Conor Gallagher essentially now going to Atlético Madrid? Until next time, take care, goodbye, God bless, and we'll see you all again soon. Peace!